Number 33. The author's main purpose in passage 1 is to tell us about Sue Hendrickson, right? Try to answer these before you look for the answer. So to tell us about Sue Hendrickson, about how she was so interested in learning stuff. So A, describe some famous sunken treasures. No, this was not about sunken treasures. Explain what it takes to become a fossil hunter. No, this wasn't about becoming a fossil hunter. Okay, look, persuade readers to search for interesting finds. There was nothing persuasive about either of these passages, so I hope it's D. Give information about Sue Hendrickson. Perfect. Just gave us information about Sue Hendrickson, love bugs. Number 34, okay, we're going to switch over to passage 2, so make sure you're thinking about dinosaur puzzle here. In passage 2, the author compares dinosaur skeletons to, it was jigsaw puzzles. They do it right at the beginning. Let me find my passage, honey bunnies. It was in paragraph 1 if you go look, babes. It's kind of long and I don't want to underline that all for proof, but it's right there in paragraph 1, love bugs. You can put paragraph 1 and 2 if you want. Okay, number 35. By looking at the T-Rex's skull, scientists can tell that I think it said something about it could smell well, didn't it? Let me go back and find that. From looking at the skull, it can tell. Okay, let me make sure y'all can see this. Okay. The T-Rex probably relied mostly on its sense of smell. The part of its brain used for smelling was much bigger than the thinking part. That was number 35. Pause this. That way you can get this proof, love bugs, because I'm about to go back to number 35 and find sense of smell. By looking at the T-Rex's skull, scientists can tell that it ran slowly. No. Had an excellent sense of smell. So this wasn't about running. We weren't talking about walking, and oh no, the weight would not come up. I apologize, guys. That's my Incredibles phone. If you're like, I recognize that tone, that's because that's the tone on the Incredibles, and I have this really cool phone hooked up to my house line that rings like the Incredibles, and it looks like the Incredibles phone. So it'll stop in a minute, I'm sorry. Number 36. Which sentence states a main idea in both of these passages? Well, both of them had stuff about Sue Hendrickson. So I know that there's going to have to be something about Sue Hendrickson in these answer choices. So let's go look. A. Sue Hendrickson has painted boats, dived for fish, and looked for sunken treasure, and found fossils. Well, that didn't really go into passage 2. I feel like, what about passage 2? B, the most complete T-Rex skeleton ever found was buried in a cliff in South Dakota. Well, true that, but what about passage 1? They didn't really talk about passage 1, and there's no Sue in there. C, scientists have learned a lot about T-Rex, but there are still many things they don't know. Yeah, absolutely, but where's Sue in here? D, the T-Rex skeleton that Sue Hendrickson found was a remarkable discovery. Yes, this brings them both together. 36 is D.